Hello guys, welcome to lecture video, I think three. These might be out of order where I post them, but lecture video number 3, we're talking about how to review or reviewing how to read a prompt, and we'll talk about how we are going to dissect prompts for essay number 2. So as a quick reminder, when you come across any question prompt, essay prompt, short answer prompt, these should be your 3 steps you start with. So read it at least once, marking unknown words and phrases, looking for context clues, and potentially using outside figures or outside resources to figure out what words and phrases mean if you have no idea. You're going to read the prompt a second time, and in this moment, in this read through, you'll mark key ideas and action verbs. And those action verbs are giving you clues to what you're going to be asked to do for your deliverable. And then lastly, look at instructions about the scope of assignment. What sources, if any, are you required to use? That will be important in this assignment because you will be required to use some sources. Now, I did go through and highlight some of these action verbs that are relevant to the prompts you guys are reading today. So we'll just click through these real quick. Right in the general term is used in our prompts. Consider is where you're being asked to think deeply about a topic. And argue, pick a side and offer evidence for it. Down here in the expository writing, we didn't have any, there's not any that show up in your essay 2 prompts. And as a reminder, when you're thinking about target audience, as always, it's wonderful to have a target audience outside of me, your instructor, for any essay you write. For this specific essay, you are given a lot of very specific context for some of your prompts. So the first prompt that comes to mind is the space prompt. You're asked to present some solutions or come up with some ideas on how international space community, the international space community can deal with the problem of space debris. So if, say, you decided to choose that prompt, you could address and consider your target audience, NASA or the US government or the international space community. You could get really specific with that and be writing to a very specific targeted community. Now, for essay 2, these prompts are written in a similar way, but a little bit more complex than the last prompt that we were looking at. So these are the parts of the essay 2 prompts. So the first one is the prompt question. That's the first thing you see when you are looking at those drop-down boxes. And when we get to next week, where you're starting to write your thesis statement, this is the question that your thesis sentence will answer. It almost feels weird in some essays that you are answering a question, but here you are given a question and you must answer it as part of your thesis sentence. The second piece is you'll see 1 paragraph of context information. This will give you just some context on a topic that you might not be super familiar with, or like that, was it question number 3, the maps question, number 4. Question number 4, the question about GPS and maps, that essay topic. It'll give you some context to understand the question even. So make sure you read the paragraph of context. And then 3 and 4, these are the same for every essay option for this essay. Your deliverable sentence and bullet points. You might be asked something slightly different on the deliverable sentence, but the bullet points are the same. You will be asked, your deliverable is an essay, an argumentative essay. And the more general formatting requirements, everybody will be reaching those same format requirements. So here we've got the space junk essay prompt broken down. You've got your prompt question first. What are the most important factors that space agencies and nations should consider when dealing with the problem of space debris? We have our context paragraph. As you read this, I will be asking you to pick out some details that give you some clues about what this prompt, this essay will include for you. And then the last piece is the deliverable. And so this is telling you directly, you're writing an essay that synthesizes material from at least 3 of the sources and then develops your position on the most important factors that space agencies and nations could consider when dealing with the problem of space debris. In that deliverable sentence, we do see you being focused onto a very specific uh, part of this, which is part of the question, but it's reminding you what you are needing to focus on in your answer. You will have one assignment this week that is focusing on prompt selection and dissection. This will be due on Friday, November the 7th, and it will be a Canvas quiz. So go ahead and you'll be choosing your prompt. Sorry, dog's rattling in her cage for a minute. You'll be choosing your prompt and you'll be, oh, Maeve, choosing your prompt and deciding, picking it apart a little bit. Okay, I will see you in the next video.